did this audition for a TV show thing. They did invite me to go on it. You need to learn how to use AI because the future is going that way. It's just like dark, no lights. It's like cats running around everywhere. Old rodeo poster from like 2008 on the wall. Hey guys, welcome to Behind the Hammer. This week, super cool. Actually, I auditioned for a TV show. I ended up declined their offer to be on the show, but that was a really cool experience. Never done that before. We worked on a sinking foundation. We've got footage right from the job site on that, so that is super cool. You're gonna wanna check that out. And we had some discussions about AI and such as well. So if you're into AI, into technology, you're gonna wanna hang around for that part of the video. It's gonna be a good week. Starting off with a little rain this morning. Got a bunch of office work to do today. PPF meeting with Wyatt, which is the personal, professional, financial goal meeting. Help him set his 1, 3, and 5 year goals in each of those categories and show him how here at Ferrobuilt we can help him reach those goals. I'm looking forward to that. I enjoy the PPF meetings. Got a interview or something with some TV show. There's thousands of people they're interviewing for it, so chances are possibly slim, but got the sports jacket on here today, you know, give me a better chance. And then tomorrow I'm actually going for a site visit for a shop I designed last week with a guy and just confirming the site, how that's looking, and should be able to get things rolling from there. Get into my ice cream bar here, the no sugar. Don't buy these very often because they have a bunch of other crap in them, but they're a nice little treat here and there. There was only one left, so you know, rather than let the kids fight over it, I figured I better finish it off this morning on the way into work just to make sure we keep the peace there at home. Okay, for sure. Yeah, we can definitely do something in that direction as well. What's it going to be used for mostly, the shop? Is it for like woodworking business or just hobbies or what sort of thing? Okay, got it. So this is kind of a business plan, part of the business plan in a sense.
Property, and now we're looking at what our options are with developing that.
Okay, cool. So you've got the property and now you're trying to decide what direction to go.
No particular rush. I think we'd like to lay the foundations for it this year. And then, I mean, I think winter's not a particularly great time, so maybe next spring.
Okay, sure. Once you do have the building built, what's the biggest problem it's going to solve for you?
I think what we need covered space. I think we need some sort of equipment storage, covered space equipment storage. And depending on the dimensions, if there's a caretaker suite that could go in as well, that would be ideal. But eventually, we've got all the services. We've got utilities, septic, water, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so initially starting out that way, that's the number one, and then be able to adapt to a bit more down the road.
That's right.
Yeah, well, what I can do is we can schedule be about 15 to 30 minute video call where we can look at design on that tool, and I'll run the tool so it'll be easy for you, and it'll give us pricing as well right there on the call. I'm just pulling up the calendar here now. Are there any times of day that work best for you?
Yeah, why don't we do Wednesday afternoon?
Okay, and before or after 4 o'clock?
Before.
Okay, I can do 2:30, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock works. Why don't we do 3?
Okay, I'll put it in for 3.
You guys specialize on the wood frame, hey?
Yeah, you bet. Wood frame,
Yeah.
Usually post and beam is how we're doing them.
No, because we're trying to understand what some of the differences are as well between steel, wood frame, and ICF.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do ICF as well, so that's another option.
Okay.
What way are you leaning right now from what you understand?
Probably wood frame, but I don't know much about ICF. If I'm not wrong, ICF has better insulation capacity. I don't know what the difference would be between wood frame with fine insulation and then ICF, if it has any kind of
Yeah, it's a little, depends on the ICF you use, but typically a little better on buildings this size, usually doing a 2x8 wall, so you still do get an R28 with the wood frame, which is pretty dang good insulation for that size of building. So. Sure, well, I'll put it in the calendar. I'll send you an invite to that. It'll be a Google Meet call, so if you need to, you might have to, if you're on your computer, it should just load up on your web browser, but if you're on your phone, you might need to download the app. Is there anything you can see coming up or any reason you wouldn't be able to be on that call at 3 o'clock on Wednesday?
I think I've got it in my calendar, so it should be good.
Who else is involved with the project?
There would be a couple folks, but we haven't quite figured that out yet. Who does what? So I'm just getting a general idea of what we're looking at in terms of costs. But we would be splitting up the work depending on what the final project looks like.
Well, we'll go over all of that on the call there on Wednesday, on the 14th. Okay. I will. I look forward to talking to you then, and I'll send you over. You said you saw us on YouTube, so you've probably seen a lot of our videos. But I'll send you over a link to a playlist you can check out, and if there's some you haven't seen, it'll answer a lot of your questions.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you bet. Have a good day. Talk to you on Wednesday.
Talk to you on Wednesday.
Yep. Just left the camera going for like 2 hours. Sadie is gonna love editing that. Yeah, good to meet you too. Yeah, I got to look at a little bit and watched part of the video, the founder there or whatever, kind of that was sent through. Yeah, the 7-minute chunk of it. Yeah. We do tons of stuff with social media and whatever. I plan to expand the business in a huge way, and I figure the more publicity, the more people that know about us, the better. And so that's why, yeah. We actually have a design tool on our website. So when a customer comes in, we get onto that design call. It's like a 15 to 30 minute call. Like say you wanted a shop. I mean, every guy wants a shop. What size of shop do you want? So I would pull it up on our design tool, screen share with you, and I would design it right there in front of you in 3D. And then you're going to be able to see a live price that whole time. So when we design your dream thing, and then if you're like, well, I can't quite do that, we can pull stuff out or we can add to it. And it's all in 3D, it's all priced, and it's all custom to exactly what you need. There's only 2 different softwares that can do that, and theirs, I believe, is the best one. That's why we use it. But it's, it gives us all our plans, gives us our pricing, everything comes out of that software. We're in BC only right now, and we just are growing that way from BC. We get requests from the States and stuff, which ideally in the future we want to expand in the States. There's just a lot more market there. And in the next few years, in the next 5 years, we want to expand to at least 10 million. We have that as 5-year. I believe we'll be past that in 5 years. I have really big goals that a lot of people, like you shared them with them, they would just think you're stupid, right? But obviously you talk to a lot of people. And so 500 million is kind of the number. Yeah, 500 million is my number. Like, yeah. And that doesn't have a time. Like, I'm not like, I have to reach it by this time, because obviously that's a ways out, but we're working on the steps up to there. So our 10 years is going to be over 20 million, 100,000 customers helped. I have actually quite a few people, just because our social media has gained a lot recently. I have quite a few people I talk to in the States, in multiple different states, that are doing similar thing, smaller operations, like they're, them and a couple guys kind of trying to get going and that sort of thing. So there's definitely, I keep talking to them, help them out. I've helped some of them out with pricing, with material lists, just for fun kind of thing. But with that in mind, that like if the opportunity comes, or when it comes, that there may be partnerships there, or they may even I might be able to even hire them in their crews, either as subcontractors or employees, or work together that way. So I have a kind of a network of these guys around the States. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm Duncan Farrow, the owner of Farrow Built, which I started in 2017. And I grew up just like as a regular guy, and I think that's one of the different things about me. When you talk to a lot of people that have big goals, big ambition and stuff, a lot of times, like, sometimes you get the thought in your mind, like, man, do I have to go to jail? Do I have to, like, get out of rehab? Do I have to, grow up being beat up as a kid or whatever? Like, it seems like everyone has this crazy past and this crazy
history that gave them something to grow on and to go where they are now. And I've almost thought like maybe I have a disadvantage at one point because I just grew up a regular life. Like I don't think there was nothing crazy happened to me. I grew up with two parents. They were great parents and grew up as a regular kid. We weren't broke, but we weren't rich, and just everything was regular. And I think the problem with regular is, and why a lot of regular people don't go anywhere, is because it's comfortable and they're stuck in there just being regular their whole life. And for some reason I've always wanted something more than just being regular, and that started off with starting the business. I actually started one when I was 23 that didn't work, and then went back to work for a few years, gained more experience, and started this one, Faro Built, in 2017. Initially, to start the business, I guess, was a lot to do with just wanting to be able to make more money, have more control, kind of the things people tell you a lot of the time. There wasn't a real good reason, but it evolved a little bit because I had worked for a guy that treated me really well and gave me a lot of opportunity, and was why I was able to start the business. And so what changed for me was I started to want to provide that opportunity for other people and wanted to see them successful, but I didn't really know how to do it. And during the course of that and trying to do that, I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and went through a point where actually everyone working here quit except for one person because of the mistakes I made and because of what had went on financially and what had happened, that they didn't feel comfortable. They didn't see a future in the business, which was the exact opposite of what I was trying to show them and what I was trying to do. Because to me, almost more than making myself successful, I want to see other people. I want to see the people that work here become successful. I want to see our clients be successful. And that's what drives me in the business. When I said I grew up as a regular guy, I didn't have that like dark moments or whatever to build on. I think after I started the business, when I went through that time where everyone quit, where we're in really financial problems, and I think that maybe was my dark moment. Maybe everyone has to go through one to be able to leap off of it, and I don't know, but that definitely was a dark moment for me and has helped me grow, helped me push, and realize that I can't just set like normal everyday goals. I have to have big goals, and I have to have big dreams and a big vision, something to pull me forward, to get excited about, which is where the 500 million a year comes from. And that's why we're growing towards that. That's it, my goal that I'm looking at, my North Star, so to speak. So one of the things that I learned, that if I was going to do it all over, if I was going to talk to myself when I was young, if I was going to talk to myself, to someone like myself, I actually mentor a few people, just not for money or anything, just other smaller builders that reach out to me. And a lot of what I talk to them about is pricing so that they can provide a great experience for their staff and for their customers, because that's super important. And that's the reason I couldn't do it starting out, was just always trying to get the job by being the cheapest. And so that's one of the huge pieces of advice that I would give to any of them, is price so that you can deliver value, you can deliver an experience that's exceptional, and you can give an exceptional experience to all your staff. Because if you can give them an exceptional experience, they'll give your customers an exceptional experience. But if everyone's just barely making it, nobody's going to be treating anyone really well. So that's the advice that I would give. The biggest part of advice would just be to do that, and then just don't quit. There's going to be crap that comes along that sucks and that's hard and it's tough to get through, but just don't quit. Just keep going. Keep those goals in front of you. Keep those in mind, and they'll get you through the dark times.
Well, it was a good day. Just headed out from the office here now. Did this audition for a TV show thing, but then I did a bit more research afterwards, and I'm not going to be doing it. They did invite me to go on it, but it costs a little bit of money from our end. And then I realized it's not really like a show that people watch. It's more of a show where you can go on and then be like, I was on TV, and then use the content to like market yourself and try and look really good to your potential customers, which is cool, but it's just not the point that we're at. If it was going to get me a bunch of reach just by being on the show, it would be more interesting to me, but it won't. And so once I researched that and found that out, I decided that we won't be doing it, because we do a lot of our own content like this show, which is more valuable probably than that show. And this show isn't very valuable yet, so that's pretty good. And I gotta get a new camera, because this camera, realize the quality is pretty poor from it. You'll notice in the on-site stuff that Casty's filming with the GoPro, the quality is really good and it's a lot more interesting. This camera's, I guess, 5 or 6 years old, I think. I didn't even realize it was that old. And time goes quick and everything advances, and you don't really notice until you go back to some old stuff. With this AI stuff, things are going to advance so much quicker now too. Gotta learn it, or you get left behind. They should be teaching AI in schools. I don't know why they aren't. Found out that they aren't, which is kind of crazy. You need to learn how to use AI, because the future is going that way. China's like way ahead of us on that stuff, and we're going to be following that. The nice thing about building and the trades, and that's why I'm always an advocate for it, is it's not getting replaced anytime soon. They're working on ways to replace people in the trades. Replacing people with machines is more reliable, and you get more done. That's why we drive trucks around. We don't have like the guys running around with us behind in the little carts like they did in, well, they still do it in some countries, right? But we're driving because it's faster, more reliable, unless you drive like a Chevy or a Ram. But if you drive a Ford, it's more reliable than a person. So that's what I think about it. People are always scared of the next new thing. They were scared of cars when they invented them. They were scared of computers. They were scared of Google, the internet, email. Probably were scared of fax machines. Probably were scared of mail. Oh, I gotta give my everything I wrote to some random guy and hope he delivers it to my cousin 300 feet away down the road. I don't know. Sketchy. Don't be scared of the new technology. Embrace it, learn it, and use it, take advantage of it. And those that don't embrace it, those that don't learn it, are going to get left behind and are going to become more slaves than they already are, because they try and pretend that there's no such thing as slavery, but most people are slaves, and it's always been that way. It always will be that way, but you can at least be a high-paid slave. Good morning. Another nice morning, bit of blue sky. Got a lot of rain last night, which is good. Keep those fires away as long as possible. Maybe we can get a smoke-free summer this year. Also, I'm going camping in the end of June, and I want the fire ban to still be off so we can have campfires. So hopefully this rain keeps up. It's good for pretty much everybody. Yesterday, they lifted the foundation on that house that was sinking, jacked her up with the screw piles, looking really good. Got it back to the height it should be at, and everybody's happy. So the guys are going to start backfilling that today. Well, they'll probably get all the backfilling done today. They got to haul some concrete out of there as well. So they might be a couple days to wrap it up, and then that job will be completely done. Unless they decide to get us to pour the patio again as well, but they were looking at some other options on that too, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, happy we can jack that house back up. Now it's on a secure foundation. Those screw piles go down 28 feet, so a little further than we expected. We were expecting 14 feet, but they went down 28 feet, and they're into some solid ground down there, 28 feet down. That's the sweet thing with screw piles, is like when they built that house, what they actually should have done was just put on screw piles. But what they should have done, if they had looked at it properly, is they should have actually over excavated that 28 feet and filled that back up with structural fill. They've been doing that a bit in when they put the subdivision in behind the Tim Hortons there in Armstrong. They were doing that, way over excavating then filling, and that's why, because down the road, that crap sandy clay stuff they put it on, it just was settling out, and the foundation was literally floating by a few inches in that whole one side. So the screw piles get down to that without having to do the excavation, so that's why they're a great option, and I would consider using them even in a new build. Just pour a grade beam on top of them or whatever. Definitely something to look at. But yeah, glad we can get that fixed up back to normal. And Because folks don't have to keep worrying about their house because it just kept sinking further and further, and they're getting real worried about it. There we go. Just pulling out of the office, heading over to this machine shed we're going to build. Meet the customer there. He's been doing the prep for the site. Take a look at how that is. And today I was looking at a job where they have these old hog barns. He wants to rip the hog barns out. I went and took a look in the hog barns. He's like, yeah, there's just cats in there and stuff. The customer wasn't there. I was just with him on video call. It was just like dark, no lights. It's like cats running around everywhere. Old rodeo poster from like 2008 on the wall. Oh, it's got cool. Just the smell in there or whatever from the hogs and it being closed, like it hasn't vented in years and years. Burned the lungs, so I wasn't feeling too hot for a couple hours afterwards. Felt kind of weird, but cleared out now. Kind of interesting. Just thousands of square feet of hog barns that are useless now. And he's trying to figure out how to rip them out, but it's like a couple $100,000 to rip them out. A lot of concrete, that's why. Piles of concrete there. Halfway through the week. Just heading in to the office. I'm trying to hire people, always. We're always trying to hire people. And there's different types of people, obviously. But there's people that apply, and like I'm really bad at getting back to people. Like it's almost at random when they apply. But it's the people that persistently contact me that I actually end up talking to and hiring most of the time. Unless I think they just absolutely wouldn't be a good fit. But there's this one guy that like absolutely beats the persistence level of anybody I've seen yet. He's from PEI, Prince Edward Island. It's out on the East Coast, we're on the West Coast. And I interviewed him back in December, and he was planning to move out. Things changed, and he wasn't going to move anymore. But anyway, he was looking at first to relocate, and then he was like, well, if you have like out of town jobs, I'll just like fly out, stay in a hotel, work for you. It's like, okay, I'll let you know once we get some. We just haven't really had any. And then we do have some coming up. Anyway, he has persistently, at least once every month, I'd have to check my text, but it might even be more often than that, he either texted me and called me or both, asking, hey, is there any opportunity yet? Do you have work available for me yet? And I just got a text from him again this morning saying, hey, I'm ready to relocate to Enderby pending a job offer. This guy is very persistent, and from what I remember in the interviews, I'll have to look back, he definitely would be a good fit. And if he was in BC, I would have already hired him. So I got to give him a call today and see what he's thinking, what's changed. But I look forward to talking to him, see what he has to say. I was talking about the three types of people, but the three types that I encounter are the ones that apply, and then if you don't contact them or don't get back to them, you never hear from them again. There's the ones that, actually there's probably four, where they apply and then they just persistently keep asking about it. And then there's ones where they're actually like mad. Like there's guys that they applied apparently and I never contacted them again, or didn't get back to them or something, and they left a comment saying that somewhere on our social media, and I said, oh, just call again. And they're like, no thanks, answer your phones or whatever. It's like they have zero persistence. Don't really want people that don't have persistence. Yeah, we should be answering our phones, but if we missed your call, call again. There's one guy or a couple guys that have, like, you interview them and you say, hey, no, you're not a good fit, thank you for your time, and then they're still persistent. That's an interesting type. I've never hired anyone from that type, and wonder how it would go. But it's a good sign. Persistence is a good sign. Just heading out the door to go to PPF meeting with Wyatt, who works for us. So PPF meeting is personal, professional, and financial goals for the next 1, 3, and 5 years. What we want to do is help him set those goals, which he'll have already worked on before this meeting, and We do this with every employee at 90 days. We also get some Ferrobelt swag at that same time. And then what we'll do is we will show them how he can achieve those goals working here, and what that would take, what he needs to do, maybe, you know, what position he'd need to be in, how he can create the income for those goals. Also got some of these business cards made out of paper that you can write on, so that I could just get some generic business cards with a blank spot for name and phone number, so the guys can just write name, and, you know, if it's a customer that needs their number, they can put their work number on there, or they could put the office number, you know, if they're handing it out to a lead or something, instead of getting different business cards for every guy. This way it's just a little easier. You don't have to create a bunch of different ones, you just order a bunch of them. Could have just got them with just the office number too, but I thought it might be handy to have this on there, so we'll see how it goes. PPF meeting with Wyatt went really well. It was actually one of the better ones I've done, and the reason was because he actually understood how to set the goals. When I first started setting goals, is a lot of people go, you know, oh, I want to be in better shape, or I want to have more money, and it's like, those aren't, how do you know? Like, today you might go back and learn something at the job. Are you better at work? Did you achieve your goal? Sure, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But what was cool is Wyatt actually understood, like, you actually have to set a goal and it has to be quantified. Like, say it was a goal to get in better shape. You were like, okay, getting in better shape for me would be, I can do 10 push-ups now, I want to be able to do 50. So a year from now, I want to be able to do 50 push-ups, and I'll know if I can do 50 push-ups, I'm in better shape. So yeah, it was cool. All his goals were super quantifiable like that, so it made it really easy, and I just had to show him how at Ferrobelt here we can help him and support him to reach those goals. So it's exciting. Heading out to Maple Lake, looking at a couple jobs out there. It's Friday of the long weekend. Looks like the roads are getting busy. This is when you get ahead, when everybody else is taking time off. They crush it this weekend. I actually had an appointment set up already. I forgot to confirm it, so I hope they're there. There's no cell service out there. I had an appointment set up to look at a roof out here. And then, like, basically their neighbor called, like, on the same little road. Today, he's talking to us about a garage. They're like, oh, I'm out there anyway, I'll swing by. We're in the middle of changing our process a bit, and it's like, it's always a little bit of a nuisance to try and change stuff, because you've got some people in the old way and some people in the new way, some people in between, because you're not quite sure what you're doing. Because we just do the design, everything with people for free, which is cool, until we start running out of time to do everything else. And so it's not, our mission is to create exceptional experiences, and if we don't charge for the design, we realize we're not creating exceptional experience, because maybe we're creating an exceptional experience for that one person because they get in this free design, but really people don't value stuff they don't pay for anyway. So instead of doing the free design, we're going to charge for it now. We haven't quite figured out how much, but probably at least $500. And we're gonna feel like our time's not being wasted. Even if they don't build the building, it's just like, no big deal. You know, you got plans out of it and whatever, so it works out good for everyone. 30 minutes, I'm running late. Just trying to get some stuff done before I got out of the office. I had an interview with a guy that's applying for sales. I did interview this chick that drives a Porsche, which is cool, for sales, and she seemed like she could be decent, but she was very poor at communicating. It was like, I would text her, and like, it was always a day delay between texts, which is ridiculous. If you're in a sales position and if you're applying for a sales position, it should be like, boom, communication should be instant. So whatever, I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna hire people that actually want to communicate. The guy today called me a couple times trying to get a hold of me, so that's a good sign right off the hop. I role played with him on the interview, which is always fun because people don't expect that. I doubt there's many sales positions where people are getting interviewed and expected to role play. But if they're good at sales, that shouldn't matter. They should be able to handle that. And he was a little weak there, I gotta admit. He was a little weak on the role play. He seemed very uncertain. And you may say, well, he doesn't know our product and stuff, and he doesn't, which is fine. You don't need to know the product to be able to do a role play to sell it. Like, I wasn't going to give him, oh, I need to know what thickness the posts are or something. What you need to be able to do is connect with the reason people want it and solve their real problem. So that's where sales, you find out why are they wanting to do this, not just, oh, you need a shop, cool, we'll build the shop, because we will, but if we don't know why, how do we know even what's the best shop for them? Because if you figure out why they need it and the real reasons they need it, you can actually help them better and create a better experience and recommend even other features that might help solve their problem better. So he should have done better. He was a little weak. His fact find was pathetic, and I told him, I was like, that was okay, but it wasn't good. And I gave him feedback. I told him what sucked, and he seemed to take the feedback fairly well. So that's a good sign, because you need people that can take feedback. We train every single day, we practice, and if they can't take feedback, that's not a good thing. Today, got some more interviews with some salespeople. I had a few more apply with the video interview. Some apply that, I don't know where this one guy's from, but his English isn't great. Pretty heavy accent. Seems like he'd be really good, like good attitude. Wherever he's from, he's done sales before. And so it could be good, but I just feel like if you have a really strong accent, that it'd be dang hard. I think if you're gonna immigrate to an English-speaking country, the best thing you can do to give yourself some chance of success is to learn how to speak English as well as possible without a huge accent. I'm gonna cruise into the ditch here, and we're gonna get it's a brand new power pole. It's gonna get our sign on it. Hopefully we don't get a flat tire here. There we go. Truck doesn't like that. Get some screws. Putting up 2 signs. One metal roofing and one pole barn repair. And our drill. Okay, let's go. Always try to be as quick as possible. I don't know why I always feel like a bit of a goofball putting these things up, but they get us a lot of work, so shouldn't feel silly about it. Haven't even got yelled at yet. Just get the odd phone call asking to take them down, and I just tell them, go ahead, I ain't gonna go find the pole that you want it off of. Oh, that's perfect. Pile of wood are in here. Boom. Record timing. But I just want to show you guys this. Don't see too many of these around anymore, but this is a spot where you can get free spring water. These used to be all over in BC, and they're not as common anymore, but you can back your truck right in here, fill it up, and then you can see the old one is in there where it used to run out of that wooden one. But yeah, you back in here, fill the tank up, get some free spring water. There's where it's coming down. It's getting piped in right there and runs down and out that pipe at the end. Nothing sophisticated about it, but it works great. Some pretty good flow. Nothing like a drink of fresh spring water. Duncan here, Ferrobuilt. I saw we just missed a call there.
Yeah, I wanted to give you a call back because I'm assuming your software still has a bid open or a prospect open.
Yeah, you bet.
For me at the minute, I can't go 65 or 85. I'm gonna have to just plug this roof as it is. I'll probably end up trying to work with what I've got redo the valleys and get this thing watertight as much as I can.
Yep.
I was just wondering, on your pricing, is there a separate price? So if I demoed the thing back to Batten,
Yep.
what that would look like? Even if it was you guys doing the 2x4 and the metal on top.
Yep. Let me take a look. I'm just on the road here right now.
I think if it would be, you guys would come and look at it, and as long as you're happy with the condition that it's in and any repairs that I've already made, then you would slap a roof on it and you wouldn't have to have so much contingency in place.
Yeah, you bet. Sure. Let me take a look at that, and I'll get something off to you tomorrow on that.
I look forward to getting an email from you.
Yep. I'll look at that. Thanks. See ya.
Thanks, Duncan. Speak soon. Bye.